Lovely, lovely morning, City TV's Breakfast Television. 9 right now, still a little chilly. You may need the sweater as you walk out the door, but you may toss that sweater by the time we reach our high of 21. Sunshine today and getting warmer as the weekend progresses. Good morning, John Amers, Dominion Chairman, Monarchist League of Canada.
Morning, Ann.
Big day tomorrow in Britain.
Exciting day.
And for some around the world. Let's talk about the significance and then the impact of tomorrow's wedding. How significant is it?
Very significant. This is the Queen's last son, the last child to be married. Naturally, people are thinking of past royal marriages that have failed. A little hypocritical, perhaps, in a society such as ours or Great Britain's, where 1 out of 2 marriages does end in divorce. But the eyes of the world will be on St. George's Chapel, Windsor, looking at this attractive young couple who I think are the modern paradigm for monarchy into the next millennium.
That's a whole lot of pressure, and that's something that unfortunately the world placed on the shoulders of the 2 other couples that didn't make it. Well, really 3, because Princess Anne didn't either. But we think about Fergie and we think about the late Princess Diana. So much pressure on the shoulders of these young women and on the couples. How will these 2 people, young people, shield themselves from the pressure of the media, the pressure of the royal family, the pressure of the rest of us?
Well, you know, and our Prince Edward, because he is Canada's prince, and this wonderful Sophie Rhys-Jones, who by tomorrow may be the Duchess of Cambridge, we don't know, we'll have to wait and see, are going to rise to the occasion. First place, Sophie has lived under the roof of Buckingham Palace with the Queen's blessing for the last 4 years in her own set of apartments.
Now, what does that mean, in her own set of apartments?
Her own set of apartments. It means she has been a little insulated from the paparazzi, and also she has seen the royal round of duties that she is going to perform with Edward. Second, they both have their own careers. Edward, highly successful film producer with Ardent Productions, his own company. She, a very seasoned public relations professional. So they'll have some break from the royal round of duties, earning their living, looking at the bottom line, as all young couples have to do, and I think a chance to see how their own careers are advancing, even while they give up so much to serve us.
Is she breaking with tradition by saying, I want to continue to work after I marry into the royal family? It's the first I've heard of it, at least in Britain.
It is the first in recent times, but you know, I think people will be able to identify with someone such as she, who runs her own business, because that's what SJR Public Relations is, and who will be out, seen in the streets of London, you know, having to earn a living. That's probably a very good thing at a time where people are looking always for value for money. There's this great misconception that we or Britons pay a lot for the royal family. In fact,
it a misconception?
It works nothing. Absolutely. The cost of the monarchy to Canada, the crown to Canada, is about 72 cents per Canadian per year.
So many people have a fit that the Queen has so much money and that there are still so many poor people and big problems in Britain. And
Sure
should there be an equation there?
Well, listen, Anne, the Queen is said to have all this money, but in fact, Buckingham Palace, the crown jewels, the royal stamp collection, the royal art collection are no more hers to sell than this studio is yours.
Yeah, and yet we ran on BBT this morning some information about the guest list and the guests having to spend, I think a minimum, a coffee cup was like $135.
Well,
and the guests are having a bird about...
Now, just a minute. Every young couple has a guest list, a wish list.
And
then there's reality.
Yeah.
And what we've suggested to Canadians is they give $1 or $2 to one of Edward's favorite Canadian charities. He's patron of the theater in Regina, the Globe Theater. He does amazing work here for the Duke of Edinburgh's Young Canadians Challenge that reaches out to young Canadians in isolated, disadvantaged Native communities across the country.
These are things we don't know about him.
No, he's a very low-key, self-effacing person.
Yeah.
But you know, his impact on that Charter for Business that the Duke of Edinburgh's Award runs here has raised over $3 million in 13 separate events for young people in Canada.
What don't we know about Sophie Rhys-Jones? Now, I know she had her first foray into the world of nasty paparazzi stuff with the topless incident on the cover of all of the newspapers around the world. What don't we know about her that we should know?
What perhaps we don't know is that she's been very widely traveled and widely experienced. She went off backpacking in the outback of Australia on her own for 3 months. During a couple of years she spent down under.
What's the relationship like with the Queen? Because that's the other big question.
The Queen loves her. She rides with the Queen in Windsor Great Park, a horse. She rides with the Queen in the Queen's car, which is the first time the Queen has invited a fiancé to ride to church with her in a car. She seeks the Queen's advice. She says, ma'am, you're the professional. How am I going to handle this? She came down to breakfast one morning in Windsor when the relationship with Edward was discovered in 1993 by the tabloids. There were the Sunday papers on the Queen's breakfast place, and the Queen looked at her and said, my dear, you know, this goes with the job. And she said, ma'am, what am I going to do? Explain to me your experience. The Queen, I think, really respects the fact she's trying to fit into the royal family.
She's probably learned a little from her other 2 daughters-in-law.
Well, they did need perhaps a more period of assimilation.
Will people feel more kindly towards the Queen, do you think, if she has a better relationship with this married couple in her family?
Canadians know the Queen as a loving mother, as a great mother-in-law, and someone who is steeped in duty. And I think the secret to Sophie Rees-Jones and of this marriage is she's going to promise to love, honor, and obey in a traditional sense, not to be subservient to Edward, but to show her commitment, putting aside her personal agenda for the sake of the Commonwealth and her duties. She trusts Edward, she trusts the royal family. This is not a young woman coming in with an agenda. It's a young woman giving up a great deal of her privacy and personal life to serve us.
For the man she loves. Boy, we've heard those words
For the man
before.
she loves, for the Commonwealth, and for the greater good of everybody. Service given to others, a concept pretty attractive in 1999, I think.
John Amers, thank you so much for giving us some insight today. All eyes will be on the wedding tomorrow, and thank you for